I hope this isn't too personal. Daniel, I want to ask you about like the two films that I have seen of yours, and I've seen one of your plays. These are not like Light in particular. Lovell, have you seen Light? You must have
Oh,
seen
of
Light.
course. Oh, yeah, yeah.
That also spoke greatly to me. What draws you to these places? To me, clearly, both of you directed this level with such care. I would love to know what draws you to projects like this. Like, I feel like for me, like telling stories about mental health is so important and it actually gives the work we do like more of a purpose than just to entertain. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
It's so mental health is something I actually really deal with a lot, and which I think you both know. And it's something I've struggled with throughout my life. And so like it's something, like I think when you're in that place, you're very much kind of trapped in a sea of darkness by yourself. And so like when I'm in a well place, I always kind of look at characters that it's like almost trying to like pluck them out of darkness and kind of be
Mhm.
able to kind of like um help somebody, you know what I mean? And so like I really want to explore those characters and look at that, and kind of, and also to be honest about kind of what I struggle with, and know, so that someone doesn't feel kind of so alone in a way. And so that's something really important to me, is to kind of uh write about it all, write about the good stuff and the bad stuff, and just kind of be hopefully really honest, and kind of lay it bare in a way. And so I yeah, like I think I write a lot about my family, and I write a lot about sexuality, and I write a lot about mental illness, and it's stuff that has really defined who I am, um good and bad, throughout my life. And so it's something that I look at a lot and explore a lot. And I think it is not so I hope someone sees light, or sees slipping, or sees something, and they feel seen, and they feel less lonely, if that makes sense. So they go like, okay, I'm not the only one kind of getting my ass kicked on a daily basis and trying to stand up and be a good person, and so like that's really important to me, to kind of write about that stuff.
Oh, yes. Like I had to bring that to Mississippi. And I think I've talked to you, Daniel. Like some people were like, is this movie not, it's like a little, this is too much, it's triggering this. And I said, no, you don't get it. Like it has
Uh,
to be seen here
yeah.
because of what happens here. Like people need to be seen. And I'm not saying like, oh, this is a good guy. I'm saying like this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad that you made both of those films. I mean, just so grateful. But yeah, Lovell, please please I'd love to hear what you
No,
think.
well, I mean, I was just gonna say that I think one of the things that I've always so viscerally connected to with Daniel's writing is the bravery of it. That there's always a really, really rigorous and yet also simultaneously, and I know this sounds contradictory, but completely effortless honesty. Um, that I kind of in some ways like while they're very different styles, I think the ultimate effect is very similar. I think a lot of Tony Kushner, in the sense that it asks a lot of the audience to take the journey, but the destination and the reward there is so kind of cathartic and powerful that the audience just feels like that they have reached another place by the end of it in a really beautiful way that I respect so much, and that has always been both collaborating with Daniel and watching his projects with others, seeing that effect achieved so consistently is, I think, something that very, very few writers are capable of. And it's something that I always attribute to Daniel's work. And so consequently, that's always made it very easy for me to be like, oh, there's an opportunity to champion something of Daniel's. Yes, I must. I must.
Sorry.
Um, but separate from that, and I would say everything I just said kind of falls into this ultimate umbrella for me. What always makes me say yes to a project is characters. Um, Characters are what really get me on board with something. Like I'm not the type of filmmaker, either as a producer or director or writer, who's like wants to do the Tarantino thing of like, how do we make the camera do this amazing, cool, awesome thing? And maybe this is also just my theater background, but I'm always like, but who are the people that we're watching? Why are we caring about them? Like I sometimes joke when I interface with students, I'm like, you've got to put the care into character, as trite as
Mhm.
that sounds, because otherwise, what's the point? Like I mean, honestly, I could care less what you can make a camera do backflips or whatever if it's not there in support of the story.
Right.
Um, and so for me, what always will get me sitting forward in my seat is a really singular, fascinating character or group of characters, ideally in a situation that I haven't quite seen before, or a familiar situation that's told in a completely unique or new way. And so consequently, would you say hello? I think even getting back to the original question of the move from a female Russian to a male Midwestern guy, it was okay, we've kind of seen the female sex worker comes in and saves a life. How do we take that and apply it here to a queer relationship? And I think that was kind of like, and that's what gets me here to say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.